Bear with me. It is at the Musée des Beaux-Arts de Tournai. And I believe
Was that in? Is that in Rotherham?
yes, yeah, exactly. Yep. I was there just last week.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Audiophiles. My name's John. His name is Andy. Because you won't stop talking, why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. Is Tommy got it off your chest? Now, you is just the kind of girl to break my heart in two. I knew what right off when I first clapped eyes on you. But how was I to know you'd bend my ear holes to with your incessant talking? You're becoming a pest. More on that another time, perhaps. Anyway, but first, something to listen to. Andy, what have you got in the box?
I have a band called Endless Dive. Have you ever heard of
Of course
them?
you do. Oh, of course you do.
Any familiarity? Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, I have a track by them called Blurred, and it is a live performance, and bear with me. It is at the Musée des Beaux-Arts de Tournai. And I believe
Is that in Rotherham?
yes, yeah, exactly. Yep. I was there just last week. No, yeah, this is Belgium. So, let us know what you make of this live performance in this very kind of cool, austere setting. And I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. So please go off, give it a listen, come back, and tell us all.
Order. I will say this is a lovely start. Beautiful setting. It's a museum. Seems very sort of Art Deco. Oh, lots of white marble. I could probably do without all the close-ups of the sculptures. You know, it's kind of like screaming, "This is art!" If you didn't realize it, yeah. But yeah, it's got this lovely style. It's almost like a dream poppy feel to it. You could easily imagine a couple of female voices over the top of this and some more keyboards. Yeah, it would fit it nicely. It sounds beautiful. Okay, just to say, your man on the what colour would you call that? Is it teal? Let's call it teal. He's starting to do these sort of little melody things. The bass is sounding beautiful. The statues are really annoying me. I keep thinking they're made of butter. They've got that buttery look to them. Sorry, there you go. But it sounded gorgeous. Interesting drum bass. Oh, sounds like we're pausing for breath here. That was really stunning, that bit. I love the way it sort of built and built. I know you call this section, I know some it's almost like math rocky. It's the aggressive-ish side of post rock, isn't it? But yeah, it feels like it's always climbing and going forwards, progressing towards something. And there's that lovely bit where the guitars were all strumming and the drummer was like beating, and they're all like syncopated, and it was just going up and up and up. And then he sort of brings it back in with the just called standard drumming as they're all pissing around the fretboards, and then it breaks down to this sort of pause here. Really nicely done. I swear to God, there for the first couple of notes, I thought he was still going to start doing Deer Hunter. Anyway. So at the start of that, we saw wheat-coloured guitar man pissing around with his pedals. I thought he was going to do something else, but he's now moved to the keyboard, which was probably always there, but I've only just noticed it. And he's adding in these sort of layers to this beautiful sort of reflective part. And I have to say the bass player's given up, it looks like. Fair enough. The and the synth pads for the drummer, they sound this lovely, deep, cushioned sort of it's like smacking someone with giant pillows. Sounds great. Yeah, it's lovely. That's over too quick, actually. Um, I think with stuff like this, um, the musicianship is like, you know, not in question, really. It can clearly play. It's how it's all put together, and structured, and sort of three distinct parts to this. Um, and whether it works for you or not, I guess I really, really liked it. I thought it was wonderful. Um, and it's the sort of thing you can listen to again and again and get a little bit more out of it each time. Yeah, this is really interesting. Um, Need to find out more about these guys, definitely. Um, so let's go back and chat up with Andy.
All right, so you are back from your night at the museum. What did you make of this track?
Yes, I've never seen Barnsley looking so nice. No, as luck would have it, I've been listening to a couple of post rock bands for the last couple of days.
Oh,
So you
nice.
could say I was already teed up for this.
How
Um,
serendipitous.
yeah, it's a lovely setting in the museum, sort of all white marble and Art Deco.
Yeah.
Um, I will say from the off, I could have done without all this sculpture close-ups. The first
Yeah.
thing when I saw the first one was kind of like New Order's Technique album cover. But it's kind of hitting you over the head saying, by the way, not only is the setting art, but the music's art as well. If you didn't notice, it's all art. And then they changed the coloured lighting on. Okay, fair enough. But it just, I think, it got in the way a little bit for my taste. But
Okay.
anyway, that aside. So it starts with the band there, lovely setting, and they start going, and it's got more of like a almost like a dream pop sound to it. There's very pretty and ornate melody that sort of starts to develop. So you get the open sort of chords from Mr. Yellow. I'll call him Wheat coloured guitar.
Okay.
Um,
I believe
and
that
they're
was the
very,
Telecaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. The there's a very steady bass which accompanies them as Mr. Turquoise, Aquamarine, Teal. I call him Teal.
Yeah.
As Teal starts to pick out these melodies. And then suddenly the bass player gets all these fucking ideas above his station, and he's doing chords as well, which
Yeah.
is very dangerous, slippery slope that. But yeah, so the drummer's keeping really steady, sort of judicious, beats, and just, but he's adding these extra little, syncopated beats here and there as well. Just keeps it really interesting. You
Mhm.
couldn't just clap your hands along to the
Yeah.
beat. It's really, and it just gives a sort of shimmering feel to it. As the sort of jangly quota rises, and another statue close up, we pause, hanging on this reverberated chord, and the camera shows us in close up pedal action just to let us know that the song's going to change. So the director, I don't know, is he normally does stuff for the harder thinking? I don't know, but it's really laid it out. Well, fair enough. But so actually in the new section, and clearly, while all this is going on, these close-ups of statues and the foot pushing pedals, all the boys have had a cheeky shot of Bovril because he's majorly beefed up now. Um, you wouldn't know, but Bovril is a meat-based drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Yeah,
actually heard of it before, so yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad it's not on in our supermarkets over here, I'll tell you that.
It's as unpleasant as you imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so this is this side of post rock which sort of flirts a bit with sort of proggy sensibilities and what some people call math rock.
Mhm.
Um, the tempo and the drive has increased, and it feels like all the time it's stepping or progressing towards something as it's going along. The strumming becomes more frenetic and intense, and I have to say this is a common thread with other post-rock bands I've heard. The drummer does a fucking brilliant job of shepherding this energy and channeling it. He is the border collie, making sure they're
Sure,
all
yeah.
staying within the track.
It's a great
Um,
analogy.
and then there's this short section towards the end of this where all the strumming and the drumming is all syncopated, and it's just like really, it's just brilliant. That bit, it sounds fantastic. And then he draws it all back with 20 seconds of like standard drumming, um, as the two guitarists play Frogger on the fretboard. Yeah, very nice. Um, and there's a collective sort of pause for breath around the 3 minute mark as we see Wheat bend down and start playing with his pedals. Teal starts doing this. I honestly, for about the first three notes, I thought it was going to be a bit of John Williams sort of Deer Hunter,
Mm,
cavatina action.
yeah.
Nah, but not quite. In come the synth drums. And they have a really nice, these pads he's hitting have a really nice deep cushioned sound to them. It is like being smacked with massive pillows. It sounds great. And then a surprise. Wheat has actually moved on to the keyboards that have been there all this time, but I never noticed them until he starts actually actioning them. And we sort of like briefly layer in all these sort of like clouds of reflection into this lovely, beautiful sequence. And even the bass player stops to admire it all, just watching because he's got no part to play in this. And it's really pretty and really beautiful sort of end piece to this whole thing. And all too quickly it finishes. It seemed like quite a short song to me, actually.
Yeah, for
There's
this
a lot going
style,
on.
for this
Yeah.
style, 4 minutes and 9 seconds or whatever it is, I felt like it could have easily been six and a half of more music and developing on these sounds, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I would say of the band which I was listening to most of the last couple of days, and of which I put a track aside for you,
Oh, nice.
nearly every single song was 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
just seemed to be the perfect length for this sort of, post-rock song. So yeah, I think with a song like this, I mean, almost straight away, the musicianship isn't in doubt. These guys can play.
Fuck yeah.
Um, and obviously all the post-rock bands I've listened to, the drummer's always like the standout, and I think
Mhm.
he was really good in this. Not to put others in the shade, but he was really, really good. And he didn't even like do anything flash. And I'm sure he's got plenty of that in the
Oh
can
yeah.
as well. Um, but it's the structure of the piece, and but it works because again, it's it's a instrumental song, so it's creating pictures and feelings and these sort of crystalline structures in your mind. Um, so it's whether it works or not for the listener. And I'm sure there's plenty that it doesn't, but for me, it totally did. I thought it was wonderful. Yeah, I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that on the stuff that we both gravitate toward, kind of like and don't like, that this is definitely one of those ones that we both are like big fans of this kind of sound. And I just thought it was fun. You're usually, but not always, but usually the one to bring these instrumental pieces where you just sort of listen and let the music wash over you. And I was like, well, I've got a couple of those too. And if John likes it as much as his offerings suggest, then maybe he'll enjoy this tune as well. And I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, it's
Um,
excellent. Can
yeah,
I, sorry, before
go
you
ahead.
start, can I just shout out Mr. Mark Hollis of Talk Talk, who supposedly invented this genre, and
Oh,
big thanks for that. So there you go.
yes. There you go, Mark. So yeah, the band started in September of 2015. Endless Dive is an instrumental project based in Brussels and Tournai. The band's original lineup consisted of, and please throw me a bone here, this is not my native language, so if I butcher some of these pronunciations, forgive me. Ellie Pauwels on bass, Nathan Bonnet on guitar, Pierre van Vlanderen on drums, and Nathan Mendez on guitar. Ellie Pauwels and Nathan Bonnet both exited the band in 2024, prompting Van Vlanderen and Mendez to create and produce much of their latest album on computers, though they have recently enlisted new band members Renaud Verstraete on guitar and Francois Hanston on bass. Influenced by post-rock, electronic, and hardcore music, the band delivers a dynamic sound oscillating between ambient and punchy riffs, taking you on a musical journey. According to Carol Kaminsky of Idiotech, musically, Endless Dive blends intricate math rock, as you were quick to note, rhythms with ethereal qualities of post rock. The ambient layers added depth that's both mesmerizing and immersive. Fans of Explosions in the Sky, This Will Destroy You, and even newer influences like Bon Iver and Sia Gray will find something to love here. There's also a touch of the Books, Tortoise, and Bibio in their sound, creating a unique blend that's simply their own. Endless Dive released their debut self-titled EP in November 2016. After releasing their follow-up full LP Fall Time in 2019, the band toured France, Germany, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia and played in venues like Botanique and Dour Festival. Their second full-length album, A Brief History of a Kind Human, was released on February 11th, 2022, and features this song we listened to today, Blurred. Andrew Doherty of Avanoctum.com would write this in his review of the album. I didn't know of Endless Dive before this came my way, but it's evident that they are of an artistic persuasion, speaking of visualizing the music and managing the intensity of the songs. He would write of this song, the opening track Blurred gets us in the mood with ambient post-rock trip-hoppy feel. You'll gather from this that it's not extreme. By contrast, it's soft and lush, but soon it expands into a heavier, more expansive territory, as post-rock does. It's got a vibe to it, but it's just the taster, really. I loved the shadowy echoes at the end. Very suggestive. In conclusion, he added, A Brief History of a Kind Human is a series of atmospheric snapshots and passages. We can tell ourselves what the story or the journey is, but we need the artist to help us with that. It is a nice, thought-provoking album and a very pleasant listen. Metal Mance named the album its number 6 album of the year in 2022 and wrote, after another traumatic year, it's often difficult to find music which genuinely uplifts the soul and gives you that glowing, warm feeling. Endless Dive absolutely achieved that with this, their gorgeous new album, A Brief History of a Kind Human. The warm guitar tones on the opening track, Blurred, set the precedent for the stunning post-rock yet to come. Overall, A Brief History of a Kind Human, I really love that name, I don't know why, has something for every post-rock fan. If you're still not convinced, then the majestic closing track, Au revoir, will certainly sway you. Absolutely wonderful stuff. It's also worth noting that the band's third full-length album, Souvenances, is set to drop tomorrow. I should say we were recording this before, but tomorrow, as you're viewing it in the audience, tomorrow, February 28th. So if this happened to catch your interest and you're looking for new music, not only can you check out their previous two full lengths, but you can enjoy the band's latest material as well. And I hope you do. I know I'll be looking forward to it and checking it out. And maybe if it hits like the tracks off this album, I'll be bringing them to the channel in the not too distant future. But yeah, John, thanks so much for giving this a listen, man. I really thought this might be up your alley, and I'm glad to hear that it was. Some really great
Yeah,
sound stuff going on in this one.
yeah,
My
yeah.
like
And
you,
really,
my only gripe is Christ, if it were only 6+ minutes, that would really be the icing on the cake. But if it's an opening track to, as they suggested, the writer tease you into what you're about to endeavor upon with the rest of the album, I'll take it. It makes sense.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
So
No, it sort of ramps up the imagination, doesn't it? So
yeah,
I really love
exactly.
listening to stuff like this.
Awesome, man. I thought you might, and I'm glad that you liked it. So, guys out there in the listening audience, please let us know what you think of this band, Endless Dive. If you are a fan of this track, if you're familiar with any of their other stuff, if it's new to you, whatever your your visceral reaction was to hearing the song for the first time, please drop it down in the comments field below. We'd love hearing from you guys. Also, if you would please like, share, and/or subscribe, that would be a huge help to us, and we really would appreciate it. We're growing the channel every day, and every day we're doing it because of y'all. So thank you so much. And hopefully, John and I will catch all y'all in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.